Why, happy Easter, everyone. I tell you what, there's nothing that screams Easter more than beautiful, freshly baked hot cross buns. Now, these are the traditional and they come from Coles, and I couldn't think of a better way to serve them than lightly toasted with a little butter until I developed this recipe. It's a hot cross bun spiced custard slice, and when you taste this, you will love it as much as I do. All right, I'm gonna show you how you do it. First, you start off with a whole pack of hot cross buns, leave them intact, and then we get a serrated knife. So you go straight through, and then you can remove the top layer, keep it intact. So what you do with this is get yourself a square tin, pop those guys in, and we kind of just push them together. And that way, you've got a nice solid base, right? So there's no gaps. The custard's not gonna leak through anywhere, so you do wanna keep that pretty compact. Perfect. Now to make the custard, it's very, very simple. First of all, you put your milk and your cream into a saucepan, just like that. Now I've got some orange zest that goes in. These are all the things that flavor it. We have a little ginger, cinnamon, cardamon, allspice, and of course, we can't forget the vanilla. So this is an extract. You could use puree or you could use fresh whole vanilla bean as well. And then using a whisk, mix those ingredients, and that's going to infuse all of those flavors into your custard. Easter for me as a kid always started with hot cross buns, and I absolutely loved them. And I was like, there's got to be another way to develop recipes around hot cross buns, so I've got even more excuses to go and buy more of them, because then I can have them for brekkie and I can also have them for delicious sweet snacks later on. Now, as soon as you start to see these little bubbles forming just around the edge of the pan, that's it. Don't boil it. You don't even really need to simmer it. You just need to bring it to what I call the near simmer, right? It's nearly gonna happen, and it's at that point that we go ahead and turn it off and cover it with a lid, and we let it sit there and chill for 20 minutes and really infuse those flavors. All right, in a large bowl, what you're gonna do next is take your egg yolks, and I have half a dozen of those, some sugar, of course for its sweetness, and cornflour, which is gonna help the custard to thicken. And your whisk. So what you're doing here is you're creating this beautiful sort of thick slurry. You just want to give it a quick whisk. Once you've incorporated all of those ingredients, you're ready to go. Now, our cream and milk's been standing for about 20 minutes. All of those flavors should be beautifully infused. It's also not super hot. It'll still be a little warm. What we're gonna do is pour that milk. Just pour a little bit to start, whisk it together. That way, if you do still have some heat in your milk and your cream, it's not gonna curdle or cook the egg yolks too quickly. Whisk it together. We do have to cook it out, but before we do, I'm gonna give it a quick strain. So you get yourself a fine mesh strainer like that. So we're straining it to take out any of the solids that have formed from those egg yolks. Now, onto a low heat, we're just gonna consistently stir this until it gets nice and thick. So you'll see right at the start of this process, it still kind of looks like the consistency of cream, right? Because we haven't done anything to it apart from add those ingredients. But as we start to cook it, what's gonna happen is that corn flour is gonna start getting really thick and those egg yolks are gonna continue to cook. So you don't wanna do this over a high heat, you wanna do it over a moderate heat, but it's gonna get really nice and thick. Okay, you can see it start to thicken now. And you'll see you'll have absolutely no lumps. Look at that. Okay, so turn off your heat. One last good whisk. And then you're gonna switch instruments. Remove your whisk. Have a look at this. I reach in for my spatula. You can see I've got this beautiful consistency. I want to enrich it ever so slightly more. So what I'm gonna do next is take my butter. I've gone ahead and diced it up. Mix those two together. And as that butter melts, you'll see this fabulous gloss. You can see how beautiful and silky smooth our custard is, which is exactly what you want. Have a little taste before you put it into the tin. The last thing I'm gonna add is a little pinch of salt. And that is it. We pour this straight over the top. And then to settle it, you can either just give it a little shimmy like that, pour it to each side, or my favorite trick is drop it. Lastly, we get our top, and then make sure you get them all the way over to the edge. And then your last three, Same deal. Push it down, make sure you've got a nice firm set, and then go ahead, fold your cling film over so it doesn't dry out. We're going to refrigerate this for about 4 hours, and then we'll take it out and cut it. It's been about 4 hours. My hot cross bun spiced custard slice is ready, and I'm very excited, as you can tell. So all you do is you're just going to get that cling film, pinch it down like that, and then lift the whole thing up. And now it's very simple. All you're going to do is follow that sort of seam in between the buns. Use a serrated knife. It's a good idea to wipe your knife in between cuts. You can dust them with a little icing sugar. It's sort of something really different, you know, like, yeah, we can do scones, we can do biscuits, we can do little slices of cake, but for Easter, when you're having guests around, I mean, come on. Custard through there, beautiful hot cross bun. Happy Easter, you guys.